Welcome back to There's Gonna Be Fallbacks. 2025 is just around the corner. So while any normal person might be enjoying the holiday season and thinking about the new year, here's how I spend 90% of my time.
I wonder if Isak could play off the left. Maybe we could do a swap deal for Jesus. Is it Kudus at false 9? Is that the answer?
Šeško might be ready, he might be.
I wonder how Sharky's getting on.
I should shave my head. That's right, folks, the January window is nearly here. And my Arsenal New Year's resolution is...
sign some players!
Last video, I discussed my reasoning for finally putting my eggs in the we need an attacking signing now basket. But today, I want to talk about who. January is notoriously hard to do business in. No one's saying it isn't. I'm sure there's conversations happening at London Colney and beyond right now about reasons not to do anything in attack. If you're looking for reasons, you'll find them. But when you have a clear, identifiable need, one that the whole world can see, if you're a serious football club, you try and fix that at the earliest possible opportunity as far as you can. That should have been in the summer, so now we've got to take our medicine and do it in far trickier waters. Frankly, it's our fault. But even in the harsher conditions of the winter window, we mustn't let perfect become the enemy of good. And I want to come to a point made brilliantly by Gunnerblog, or James McNicholas, in a recent video. It's time to be as ruthless with our attack as we are with other areas of our team. We have a decent sample now of 16 90s in the league, so we're gaining a bit of a picture. All the attacking data is from FBref, and in the Premier League, on XG per shot, we're 4th overall. Goals minus expected goals, a decent measure of your finishing quality as a squad, we're 8th. Non-penalty XG overall, we're 6th. Total shots per 90, we're 8th. Shots on target per 90, we're 6th. Goals overall, we're 6th. We have one attacker in the top 25 players for non-penalty XG generated league-wide, which is Kai Havertz at 10th with 5 goals from 5.9 non-penalty XG. So there's a decent argument there to say we are the 6th best attacking team in the league based on the underlying data. Maybe other data points added in would pull that average up or down, but regardless, it's not title-winning level. But defensively, we are at title-winning level. We have the second least goals conceded, the lowest non-penalty XG against us, the second least progressive passes through us, the lowest XG per shot against us, the lowest conversion rate against us. We are unbelievable in the defensive department. And I can't help but feel, to Gunnerblog's point, that if Mikel saw that level of performance in his attackers, in his defensive group, he would act. The jokes about us always signing defenders are there for a reason. We have gone into the market many, many times to get to this point defensively. So why, if we're the 5th or 6th best attack in the league, would we not also address that in the market? Maybe it's unfair to just pin it on Mikel. You also have to look up. But either way, you have to act. I'm going to talk about 3 players that I know pretty well that I think could make an immediate impact in January. But later on, I've got a wider list of other players that we could have a look at, and I'd love to hear from you any thoughts you have about players that I've missed. Realistic signing is obviously subjective, but I'm not talking about Vinny Jr. and Haaland, so miss me with that. Oh, they'd never moved to us. Oh, I don't like his agent. Oh, he said this thing once on Twitter. You might hear one of my suggestions and say, never going to happen. Absolutely fine. But if you say never going to happen to every single one, I think there's a wider issue. We have to remember how well our project is regarded, the age profile of most of our talents and our coaches, and our financial position in one of the greatest cities in the world, with upwards room for growth wage-wise when compared with almost every club we're fighting against and expecting to beat on the pitch. Where the attacking signing plays is dependent on the market and who we can get, price and fit and whatever, and the future of Martinelli, Havertz and so on. But for good players, I think we can make it work. First up, Antoine Semenyo. This is a player I've fallen in love with over the last few months, and the rumour is he's available for about £50 million. Semenyo has his strengths, but one of his key traits is that he's a brilliant all-rounder. First, his defensive work is top, some of the highest block numbers in Europe, coming from a system that consistently leads the way in the Premier League for defensive intensity. Arguably, coming to Arsenal will be a step down in the off-the-ball intensity when you look at the numbers that Bournemouth have and compare them to the game states that we might face, so no concerns there. He is unbelievably strong, something I think we lack in the forward areas other than Saka. Just watch the way he rides contact. You can't get the ball off him when he's carrying. He's a bit like Kudus, but he's a winger, and he backs himself to come off the line and carry centrally, something I think we're really missing. But honestly, what I love about him is his attitude. He just looks dangerous. He's got that get you off your feet feeling when he's approaching the box. If he receives the ball in the box, I'm telling you, he's having a shot. And for a very shot-shy team, that's perfect. It's probably a bit too much. Sometimes I think he's a bit selfish. But don't we need a bit of that? If you look at his shot locations as well from the last few seasons, you can see the cluster at the sides of the box compared to, say, a Martinelli, with double the sample in England, by the way, on here, whose shots come a little bit more evenly across the box and centrally. If you think about where our wingers are often shifted to, expected to create something from wide, it makes a lot of sense to sign someone who shoots well across their body, as Semenyo does. Semenyo hits it, and it stays hit. He hits that ball so much. Brilliant. A few videos ago, I said if we're persisting with our current setup, then it makes sense to get a left winger who can devastate from out to in. And while he can't devastate necessarily in a Leao type way, he can get inside very easily because he's so strong. He's so direct. And having watched him more now, I literally cannot tell what foot he is. He can definitely play both sides, but certainly off the left. Is this a signing you do in the summer? Maybe not, with more moving parts. But if you're looking for immediate impact, someone who's going to come in and contribute straight away, someone who can impact games at 70 minutes but also start, someone who can improve in the future, or you could sell him on and would probably give you space in the summer to sign on top of him. Given that Jesus, Martinelli, Trossard, Sterling, all these futures are slightly up in the air, I think it could be a really, really good fit. Next up, Victor Osimhen. No, I will not stop banging this drum. And I think it's doable in January. Every time I see a clip of Victor Osimhen for Galatasaray, it's him scoring with a ball whipped in from this location. And I hate it. When I think about what we have in the half spaces at the moment, we have Ødegaard and Saka with their left-footed crosses, and on the left we have Marino off his left and Martinelli off his right, whipping them in. That is a lot of quality going to the back post. I'm telling you, to break down blocks, Victor Osimhen scores 8 of those goals a season. And how much is that worth on top of what he already does? Put it this way. Would you rather have Declan Rice on the end of this chance against Newcastle or Victor Osimhen? He also has the transitional capacity that can help us a lot. Long legs, long strides, able to move us up the pitch quickly and push lines back. He can overcook his passes. I'm not sure he's going to be dropping in and playing lovely two-touch around the corner, but that can be worked on. And there are different ways to move through teams. We don't have to Wenger ball everyone to death. Just the threat of Osimhen transitioning changes the approach against us slightly. And if you thought we were good on attacking set pieces up to now, he'd take us to the next level. His domination in the box is a joke. So physically powerful, able to move centre-backs with his body rather than his movement, like, say, a Havertz. Is he Heung-min Son clinical? No, but he is a bully. He'll fight for every ball. He'll create space in the box, and he'll move you, which we need. Rumour is he has a release clause, and I'm sure he'd jump at the chance to come to the Premier League and play in the latter stages of the Champions League. No doubt, he would be on big wages. Absolutely. Do you want to beat Bayern with 8 of their first team on over 300k or not? I don't buy the off-the-field concerns, and even if I did, I don't mind a bit of a maverick. We need it. I think he knows he didn't handle the end at Napoli well, considering the agent change, and he probably has a point to prove. Does he fit with Havertz? Not sure. Does he make sense of our left-hand side? Probably not. Is he the perfect player? No one is. But if we signed him, would we, in my opinion, immediately become favourites and solve some really key tactical issues for Arsenal? Yeah. And thirdly and finally, Ademola Lookman. I know what you're thinking. Alex, they'll never sell. It's the middle of the season. Joking aside, I do hear that. But his contract expires in June 2026. That's gone very under the radar. There's a club option to extend 1 year, but there's also talk of around a £55 million release clause. If we're willing to drop some money, they'll talk. Plettigol, very reliable by the way, has spoken as low as 30 million in October. Or you pay the clause if it's there. They won't want him to go for free. No one wants to sell their best talent at any time of year. Oh yeah, we won't sell Saliba now, but when it's sunny, you can have him for a packet of crisps. If we want him, which is the big if, and we'll get to that in a second, we're the bigger club. Let's act like it. Homegrown, Premier League experience. He's absolutely found his feet over there in Italy as a winner, but I bet he's waiting for his moment to go to one of the big boys in Europe and show himself. So why can't it be us? And why can't it be now? Because I absolutely back the talent for the holes we currently have. Lookman is absolutely superb coming off the touchline on the left, which is perfect for us. He has this amazing ability to time his actions to come inside. Maybe flick the ball over you, or use your momentum against you, or let it roll across himself and go outside. Combine, go 1-2. He's a whole bag of tricks. Because of the way Atalanta's set up, he's often receiving it early and deep, and he's the one progressing the ball, which he does really well. And that works great for us with the fullback inside, often pulling the winger back. And it could help to balance us out. He has that ability to vary his step count and not dribble all in one line like Martinelli so frequently does. He can throw a shoulder, he can start you and stop you, get you running backwards at the right angle, not next to the corner flag. And he has that intent to get inside and get his shot away early, which we absolutely need in our team. He's a touch one-footed on his right, I find, but that dogged intent, I'm going to get inside and have a shot no matter what, I absolutely love. And he loves that dragged finish to the near post. When compared to attacking midfielders and wingers, he's in the 99th percentile for non-penalty XG across Europe's top 5 leagues, 91st for assists, 92nd for shot-creating actions, 90th percentile for progressive passes received, something huge for Saka and Martinelli, and all done in Italy, which quietly I think has become a lot more competitive recently with so many teams vying for the title. I also absolutely love his attitude. Post-Europa League win, someone basically asks him, could he ever have imagined scoring a hat-trick in a final like that? And he just goes,
yeah, probably, yeah.
I want that. A bit of confidence, a bit of arrogance. I need that. We need that. Who knows on the price, but the wages wouldn't be crazy if someone at Arsenal believes in the talent. Money talks. Hard, mid-season? Anything worth doing is hard. Now, let's run through a list of some other talents that could make sense as well. I'm, as an average, less optimistic or sure on the players, but again, perfect doesn't have to be the enemy of good. Omar Marmoush, new one for me, left-sided player at Frankfurt. Bouncy, force of nature type player. I don't know if he's rapid over long distances, but great burst. He's quite Brazilian in his technique. The Luis Diaz ball rolling across the body, shake the hips stuff, dribbles really well. Lovely free kick taker. Plays in quite a transitional team though, I don't know on the price. Absolutely reeks of Liverpool. Benjamin Šeško. Hand on heart, believe he will rival Haaland when he moves to the next big club. Has absolutely everything. Height, pace, ball absolutely cannons off his foot, decent link up, hang time is absolutely crazy, Ronaldo-esque. We know the club like him. And with the rumoured release clause, although he would probably come in and be a bit inconsistent, it might make financial sense as well. Rafa Leão. Craziest 5-yard burst I've ever seen on a footballer. If I could give Martinelli any skill, it would be that. Inconsistent finishing, questions about him off the ball, but when you look at how isolated our left winger is, if I'm asking who can do that devastating out-to-in run best in Europe, maybe it's him. The money would be mad, but if the club are convinced for the summer, why not move it forward? Mohamed Kudus, top talent, always there in the take-on and the dual lists. Just so much money. But again, if the club did want to do this in the summer, why not pay the premium now? Is the extra 15, 20 million really that mad in the grand scheme of football? If we do nothing in January but go and sign a Kudus or a Leão for 100 million in the summer, I mean, I'll be buzzing, but it will also be kind of annoying. And of course, so many others. Nico Williams, the hype's gone, but he's still there. Rashford, you all know my thoughts there, and there's an opportunity here. Dusan Vlahovic, Evan Ferguson, Brian Mbeumo, Samu Orogin, or Adjehawa now I think. João Pedro, Alex Bainer, Karim Adeyemi, Jamie Gittins, Mateus Cunha. Victor Gyökeres is always there and actually thought did okay, all things considered, against Saliba and Gabriel. Tyler Dibbling, another talent I really like. What a ball carrier. Probably not ready in January, but with Southampton in a precarious position, who knows? Nothing big was ever achieved without a bit of risk. Our attacking group, if we are serious about winning things this season, needs a bit of ruthlessness applied to it. It needs to rival our rivals. And it just doesn't. We've been ruthless with goalkeepers, with defenders, with midfielders, and now it's the attacking group's time. Are we being ruthless keeping Sterling around to the end of the year? Are we being ruthless giving Jesus this amount of time? Are we being ruthless giving Martinelli the run he's having in the team? Extenuating circumstances in many of those, of course, and I'm not saying there's not. But when the margins are so thin, you might have to be a bit mean. We don't really know, in all honesty, what an Arteta attacker looks like. But we also don't know the impact it could have on those around them. The lift on the players and the mood at the club. Gabriel Jesus remains the only big money out-and-out forward he's ever signed. And he'd worked with him before. So I hope we're going to find out what that looks like sooner rather than later. If you like The Different Knock, you can support us on Patreon monthly, or you can buy us a coffee.